Hi. Well, I'm back. You can see that I've spread my peel away over the entire area that I'm going to work with today. Once it's evenly spread, it'll be basically covering everything. There's no paint that is exposed in the area that I'm trying to strip off. And paint started to turn a little bit of color where it's touching it. So you can see areas where the paint was sticking through a little bit where it didn't have good coverage because it kind of turned a little bit orange. Once you see a little of those orange areas, it shows up maybe 10-15 minutes. If they're sticking through, that means it's not thick enough. Put a little bit more peel away on there. Now I've got a pretty smooth surface. There's nothing really sticking through, so I can go on to the next step. The next step is to put the special peel away paper on top. This comes with the peel away bucket, so it's not something additionally you have to purchase. I've heard of other people before, I guess they included it using plastic wrap. I haven't tried that, but since this is included, I've used it. It seems to work well. The reason you cover it is it's twofold. First, this stuff's going to dry out if you just leave it up there for a couple of days. And when it dries out, it doesn't do its magic. The magic of this alkaline paste is that it's going to basically, digest that paint, and it only happens while it's moist. If it dries out, it stops working, so you need to keep it from drying out. How long you can leave it on there and dry depends on the humidity conditions in your area too. So if you're living in some places with very, very dry conditions, and very high temperatures, it may dry out more quickly, so that may limit how long you can leave it on. I'm going to basically work on this and put little sheets on that are no bigger than 1 square foot. And the reason I'm going to keep it down to about 1 square foot per section is because the second purpose of this paper is it helps aid you in removing it, which we'll see when we go on to the next step. When you pull it down, the thickened paint and peel away mixture will stick to this paper, and it will help pull it off, and as it sticks to it, help to dispose of it from keeping it from falling all over you. If you have it in too big of sheets, you aren't going to be able to handle it. So if you keep them to about 1 square foot or smaller, you should be okay. Now, as I take this up here, I'm basically just going to go to an area where I'm going to line it up with a corner here, and I will press it down gently as I go. I don't want any air bubbles in this. And I'm going to smooth it over with my hand on all sides because you want good contact between the paper and the peel away paste underneath. If you don't have good contact, those air bubbles will allow it to dry out. And also, just pressing it a little bit helps push out, any tiny little gaps you have between the peel away, like air bubbles underneath the peel away paste. So there's always good contact in all spots between the paint and the peel away. There, I've done one section. Now I'm going to go on and I'm going to cut additional pieces of paper and about that same maximum size to cover the rest of this work area. And then I'll show you one final step we have to do with this before you let it sit for 2 days.